Tonight on Connecticut's news station, a contentious town hall meeting ends with the institution of a controversial new policy in Enfield. Why leaders opted to ban flags from town properties and how residents are reacting.
Appears to be smeared, pinkish, reddish in color.
Day one in the much anticipated trial of Michelle Troconis, facing charges in connection to the death of Jennifer Dulos. We'll take you into the courtroom for opening proceedings. And the First Lady of the United States making a stop here in Connecticut tonight. We'll share what she had to say to the crew of the USS Delaware and their families.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
We begin tonight in Enfield, where a recently passed flag policy is drawing harsh criticism from residents. Thanks for joining us for the news at 10. I'm Brent Harden. The policy prohibits any flag but the U.S., state, and POW MIA flags from being flown on town property. Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolforst spoke with town council members and local advocates, and she joins us now in studio. So, Emma, what did people have to say?
Well, Brent, there's a lot of outrage right now from those opposing this new policy, while members in support say they're just trying to establish a flag policy for the town. Those against call this disturbing and regressive.
A resolution to adopt a policy for the display and flying of flags on town property.
Monday, the Enfield Town Council proposed a new flag policy, causing heated debate.
There are 11 people on this council.
Maybe if you start showing him the respect that he's shown you, he'll address you.
You should probably not talk to me about showing people respect.
The policy eventually passed 6-5, nearly along party lines.
And they just don't want anything to do with gay pride.
Councilperson of 23 years, Mangini feels this new measure is targeting the LGBTQ+ community.
To dismiss people's feelings and beliefs is wrong.
The flag policy now prohibits flying any flag that is not the U.S., state, or POW MIA flag on town property.
I thought we had a good fight in it, and unfortunately we were let down.
This new flag policy repeals previous resolutions, like the 2022 measure to display the rainbow flag at Enfield Town Hall for Pride Month.
There's so much damage that has been done by this vote that I don't think my Republican counterparts are truly aware of how hurtful this was.
Those opposed to the policy say even though this feels like a direct hit against the LGBTQ community, they're concerned about what else this might mean.
There's no clear direction.
Jewel and Mangini worry about other flags and displays, like ones for holidays like Juneteenth, or supporting other countries like Ukraine.
As small as this issue may appear, it's not small at all. This opens the door to what's next.
The mayor and town councilors in favor of this policy did not get back to me tonight for an interview. Enfield pride groups are now encouraging people to display pride flags on their personal property and say they're planning a rally during the next town council meeting on January 22nd. Brent.
All right, Emma, thank you. We have rainy weather moving in about this time tomorrow night. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first look at the forecast. Rach?
Yeah, more rain, what nobody wants to hear about. Certainly the last thing I want to be talking about. But I do want to stress, even though we do have another soaker on our hands, we won't see as much rain or as much wind as we saw with the last storm. We're anticipating 1 to 2 inches of rain this time around. And while it's not as much because rivers and streams are already high and the ground is super saturated, that could renew the flash flooding risk. And gusts are not as much of a concern, up around 40 miles per hour. That's not enough to cause wind damage and outages. So we are thankful for that. But coastal flooding will once again be on the table heading through Saturday morning and early Saturday afternoon, minor to moderate. This all gets underway between 10 p.m. and midnight tomorrow night. And the last raindrops are falling by around 7 or 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. So most of the weekend and is dry. It looks like we have some sprinkles and flurries out there, but the air is so dry that's evaporating before it reaches the ground. Here is our system, which will undergo rapid intensification as it moves into the Great Lakes. Right now, we're looking at temperatures that are in the low to mid 40s, so it's quite mild out there. Temperatures tonight sticking in the 30s as we head towards daybreak, and it looks really nice tomorrow. We'll see plenty of sunshine, highs climbing into the mid, maybe even some upper 40s, and then that rain begins later at night. We'll talk about the changes for the second half of the weekend, more of a wintry appeal for next week coming up. Brent.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Turning now to a case that is garnering national attention, the murder of Jennifer Farber Dulos, the New Canaan mother of 5 who went missing in May of 2019. Today, the trial began for the first co-defendant in the case, Michelle Troconis. She is the once girlfriend of Jennifer's estranged husband, Fotis Dulos, and she is charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc has the breakdown on what went down in the courtroom.
This trial is something many people have been waiting for more than 4 years now. And tonight, we are getting a first look at what New Canaan police officers were dealing with when they first responded to the New Canaan home when Jennifer was reported missing.
Every defendant in a criminal case is presumed innocent.
The beginning of what's expected to be a 6-week criminal trial. At the center of it all, Michelle Troconis, charged with conspiracy to commit murder, tampering with physical evidence, and hindering prosecution. Police allege Troconis plotted with her once live-in boyfriend, Fotis Dulos, to murder his estranged wife, Jennifer Dulos. Fotis Dulos died by suicide in January of 2020 after being charged with murder. Troconis, however, continues to maintain her innocence, her family speaking on her behalf outside the courthouse Thursday.
We know that she's innocent. We are trusting this fair trial.
In the courtroom, the state calling its first witness, Lieutenant Aaron Latourette with the New Canaan Police Department. For the first time, body camera footage was shown from the day investigators responded to Jennifer's New Canaan home the night she was reported missing.
Well, it's just strange in connection with the fact that we've got a missing person.
20-minute video, investigators find a car parked in the garage. They eventually notice what looks like dried blood on the car and on the floor.
Appears to be smeared, pinkish reddish in color, as if something was cleaned up.
Police eventually found the keys to another one of Jennifer's cars inside her purse in the home.
The babysitter, Lauren, had told Officer Coughlin that the purse would normally not be at the residence if Jennifer was not at the residence.
Soon, investigators described finding Jennifer's Chevy Suburban SUV on the side of the road near New Canaan's Waveney Park, left in reverse and with a dead battery. After an extensive search, still no signs of Jennifer. Investigators canvassed the neighborhood, catching video they believe shows the last time Jennifer Farber Dulos was seen alive.
Pick up pictures or video rather of Jennifer Dulos' vehicle leaving in the morning and returning, and then leaving for a second time and not returning.
Now tonight we're also hearing from a spokesperson for Jennifer Dulos' family and friends, and they are reminding us all to remember the woman who's really at the center of all of this. Jennifer, a loving mother of 5, a cousin, and a lifelong friend. We are in Stamford. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Julia, thank you. And coming up later this hour, we'll talk to criminal defense attorney Jim Bergen of Shipman and Goodwin for his analysis of day 1 of the Michelle Troconis trial. We're following a developing story in East Hartford tonight, and police there are asking for help. They're looking for witnesses to a shooting just after 1 a.m. Officers found one injured man on Nutmeg Lane alongside several bullet casings, a handgun, and a rifle. And another man turned up on Silver Lane after reports he was knocking on doors begging for help. Both men had been shot several times but are expected to survive. And new at 10 tonight, 2 teenagers were arrested last night in Waterboro in 2 separate incidents at the same high school basketball game. Police say one 16-year-old boy was disrupting the game. When officers tried to de-escalate the situation, police say it turned physical. And the same thing happened with a 16-year-old girl in a separate incident, but at the same game. Both were arrested, charged with breach of peace in the 2nd degree and resisting arrest. No one was injured in either. Well, new tonight, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden visited military families in Groton today. After arriving at the Groton New London Airfield, Mrs. Biden was the guest of honor at a holiday gathering at the Submarine Force Museum. She met with a crew of the USS Delaware and their families and called herself their shipmate for life.
I'm proud and humbled to be your shipmate for life. You've shown the world again and again what it means to be the first defenders of liberty.
Now, Dr. Biden's visit to Groton is part of her Joining Forces initiative, supporting the sacrifice made by military families defending our nation. They don't make legends in New England any bigger than Bill Belichick, and today he and Patriots owner Robert Kraft delivered the news that had been rumored for weeks now. After 24 seasons in New England and 6 Super Bowl championships, Belichick's days as coach of the Patriots have come to an end.
Coach Belichick will forever be celebrated as a legendary sports icon here in New England, and I believe go in as a Pro Football Hall of Famer on the first ballot. Why? Because he is the greatest coach of all times.
So appreciative of the fans for all the support they've given me, my family, and this football team. And it's with just so many fond memories and thoughts that I think about the Patriots and I'll always be a Patriot.
And we'll have reaction from Tom Brady, speculation about what's next for Belichick and the Pats, and much more about the coach's legacy coming up when sports director Jonah Karp joins us later this hour.